Have you ever walked into a room expecting one thing, only to discover something that changes everything? That's exactly what happened to me one night. I thought I was just saying goodnight to my son. Instead, I opened a door that would unravel everything I thought I knew about myself, about love, and about the boundaries we set in our lives. The hallway was quiet, the kind of silence that only falls over a house late at night. I padded softly across the hardwood floor, the faint glow from the bathroom light guiding my way. It was supposed to be a simple ritual, a mother leaning in to whisper goodnight, to tuck the blanket under her son's chin, to feel that tether to the little boy who used to beg her to chase away the monsters under the bed. But when I pushed open the door, the breath froze in my lungs. It wasn't my son, Ethan, sitting on the edge of the bed. It was Tyler, his best friend since middle school. For a moment, I couldn't move. His silhouette was sharp against the dim glow of the bedside lamp. He turned his head, and our eyes met. His gaze wasn't that of the awkward teenager I remembered, the boy who raided my fridge after soccer practice, who used to leave his muddy cleats in the doorway. No, there was something else in his eyes now. Something steady. Something that unsettled me in ways I didn't expect. "Ethan's asleep," Tyler said quietly, nodding toward the blanket-covered figure beside him. His voice was calm, low, and respectful, but there was an edge to it, too. A softness tinged with something daring, something that made my skin prickle. I should have smiled, joked, excused myself. Instead, I just stood there, caught in the strange electricity that filled the room. When had he changed? His shoulders were broader now, his jaw sharper, his dark hair falling in a way that seemed careless yet deliberate. He was no longer the lanky kid trailing behind Ethan with a backpack bouncing at his side. He was a man, or becoming one, and that realization shook me to my core. "I thought you were Ethan," I stammered, my voice barely more than a whisper. My fingers tightened on the doorknob like I needed the anchor. Tyler's lips curved into a small smile. "Sorry if I startled you," he said, his tone warm. Something inside me shifted. I told myself to leave, to close the door, but instead my feet carried me inside. I fussed with the blanket at the foot of the bed, pretending to adjust it over Ethan, though the boy was sound asleep. It was a flimsy excuse to linger. As I bent to tuck the blanket under his chin, I could feel Tyler's gaze on me, not intrusive, not demanding, but present. Not as Ethan's mom. Not as the woman who paid bills and rushed through life in a blur of errands. But as me. "Long day?" I asked, trying to break the tension. He chuckled softly, the sound low in his chest. "Yeah. But this," he paused, searching for words. "This is nice." I swallowed hard. He didn't mean it the way it sounded, did he? I grabbed a spare pillow from the closet just to have something to do with my hands. "That's what moms do," I said lightly, forcing a laugh. "Make a place feel like home." His smile was gentle, almost sad. "Not everyone's that lucky," he murmured. His eyes searched mine, and for a moment, something cracked open inside me. The silence stretched between us until I finally stepped toward the door. That's when it happened. His hand brushed lightly against my wrist. It was nothing more than the barest touch, tentative and respectful. Yet my heart thundered like he'd set off a fire inside me. "Good night, Tyler," I whispered, pulling away, though not in anger, just fear of how easy it would be to stay. Even hours later, lying in my own bed, I could still feel that touch. That gaze. That question unspoken between us. The next morning, the world spun as if nothing had changed. Ethan and Tyler stumbled into the kitchen laughing and teasing each other. But every time Tyler's eyes met mine, something inside me stirred, dangerous and alive. When Ethan announced he'd be gone late working on a school project, the silence of the house felt too sharp. I curled up on the couch with a book, pretending to read. That's when I heard a soft knock at the door. "Tyler." He lingered in the doorway, rubbing the back of his neck. "Sorry, I didn't mean to bother you." "It's fine," I said softly, setting my book aside. He sat at the far end of the couch, polite, distant. We talked about school, about Ethan, but the words felt shallow. Finally, he grew quiet, his eyes fixed on mine. "Did I make you uncomfortable last night?" he asked. The truth knotted in my throat. I could have denied it, laughed it off. But instead, I whispered. No. You didn't. His relief was palpable, a breath he seemed to have been holding all day. He leaned forward, clasping his hands. I've always thought you were incredible. Strong. Kind. Beautiful in a way that made me feel safe. The honesty in his voice broke something inside me. I reached for his hand without thinking. His fingers curled gently around mine, reverent, hesitant. You shouldn't, I whispered, though I didn't let go. Maybe not, he admitted. But I can't help how I feel. And the truth was, I couldn't either. When he leaned closer, every inch was a question. Permission, not demand. And when our lips finally met, it wasn't wild or reckless. It was soft, tentative, a kiss that asked if I would let myself be seen. I could have pulled away. I should have. But I didn't. In that fragile moment, the years of loneliness, of invisibility, melted away. I wasn't just Ethan's mom. I wasn't just the divorced woman carrying responsibilities like armor. I was a woman who still deserved to feel alive. The days that followed blurred between normalcy and secret glances. Ethan remained oblivious, his laughter filling the house. But every stolen moment, every conversation with Tyler, deepened the pull between us. I questioned everything. The boundaries. The risk. The betrayal Ethan would feel if he knew. But when Tyler looked at me, really looked, I felt something I hadn't in years. I felt wanted. One evening, after Ethan left for a group project, Tyler returned. We sat close, our knees brushing. This could ruin everything, I whispered. I know, he said softly. But it could also mean everything. His hand found mine, warm and steady. And for the first time in forever, I allowed myself to believe I deserved something more. What happened after that is still hard to explain. Was it wrong? Maybe. Was it complicated? Absolutely. But it was real. And it left me asking a question I still don't have an answer to. When life hands you a moment that makes you feel alive again, do you walk away? Or do you take the risk, even if it changes everything?